This is the podcast overview for week 13. We will be covering chapter 12. Again, self-regulation, this time with nutrition. So this is another part of the self-regulation chapters where we're looking at ways to self-regulate one's stress. And this week the focus is on nutrition. So a lot of people don't realize how connected nutrition is to their overall well-being as well as to their management of stress. We cannot prevent all stress, but we can mitigate it with things like sleep and good nutrition and taking good care of our bodies, exercising, and being healthy. So here's your to-do list for the week. You do have the reading in chapter 12 and some reading in the McGonagall text this week. It's chapter 5, looking at connection and how caring creates resilience. You also have an exam this week, exam 5, which covers chapters 10 through 12 in Harrington. You can click here for an overview of this week's objectives for the chapter, and here are your lecture slides. In terms of the discussion this week, you'll want to make sure that you've done the readings. There's no videos, so just focus in on the readings this week. But the first question asks, do you believe in the idea of food as medicine? That's a quote directly from the text. What are the pros and cons of approaching food choices with this concept in mind? So if we think of food as being medicine for our bodies, how might it affect the food choices that we make? And what specifically is meant by that, food as medicine? There's lots of different avenues that you can take that, so definitely integrate in some of the reading and the research into how this is true. And then 2 looks at the McGonagall chapter. McGonagall stresses the importance of what she calls bigger than self goals and turning what is overwhelming into what is hopeful by employing strategies that your brain won't expect, such as generosity and kindness. So she says when we utilize generosity and kindness, it kind of puts others before the self, and it in turn helps us to sort of cope with stress. When we are overwhelmed, the last thing that we're going to want to think about is doing something for someone else. But research actually shows that this is exactly the remedy we need to turn our overwhelmed into hopeful. So, many of us crush under pressure and stress, and all we do is we zone into how it's affecting us, and we become very me focused, and that's very easy to do. If we can learn to channel some of that focus outward and look to see how we can help others, it actually helps to mitigate our own stress and helps us feel more relaxed and more hopeful as to dealing and coping with our stress. The next time you're overwhelmed, what is something new or unexpected you can plan to do for someone to combat it? So I want you here thinking of this as a weapon that you keep in your stress arsenal that you'll pull out when need be. So think of a way that maybe you could just tell yourself right now, the next time I'm stressed, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to help someone. This is how I'm going to reach out. So think of what is an act of kindness that you can easily do, maybe a little thing, that can give you a boost in mood and also a different perspective. And then lastly, I just want you to take some time for reflection here as you approach your answer to the next few questions. I want you to answer at least 2 of these. You can pick whichever ones you like. What kind of positive impact do you want to have on the people around you? What mission in life or at school most inspires you? What do you want to contribute to the world? What change do you want to create? So some of these are really big picture questions, but I want you to think about them realistically as well as hopefully. We all have things that inspire us and motivate us, a mark that we hope to leave. And maybe you think about this on a regular basis, or maybe you don't really ever think about it. I want you to just ponder this for a little bit before you try to jump in and answer, and really thoughtfully reflect on your answer to the two that you choose here. Once you're finished with your discussion, you'll be ready for exam number 5. It's covering chapters 10 through 12, and you'll have 40 minutes to complete the 40 multiple choice questions, each one worth 2 points. If you have any questions as you're working through the material, again, please feel free to contact me. We can chat about anything, and I'd be happy to help you.